these risks can be mitigated. So alternative methods for mitigating risks include workplace culture reviews, psychosocial risk assessments, preliminary inquiries made through HR, the manager or the leader, manager-leader intervention, leading discussions with the parties. And then when you look at the resolution options, they're mediation, facilitated discussion, conflict coaching. It could also be restructure. There could be job demands that are escalating risk, and so they actually need more resources, more people, better equipment and machinery, lots of things like that. The leader may need leadership coaching. So there are lots of other resolution options available as well. I've got here the critical question of whether to undertake a workplace investigation or an alternative method. It's really, what are we looking to pursue out of the workplace investigation? If we're looking to do something significant, if the conduct is proven, so taking a restructure, disciplinary action, including termination, and workplace investigation may be the appropriate action. Because they provide evidence to substantiate the employer's processes and decision-making when taking significant action. Where you don't think that significant action is going to be taken, then it's prudent to look at alternative methods such as a workplace culture review, psychosocial risk assessment, or sometimes you could go straight into mediation or facilitated discussion where you recognise that these two parties or multiple parties are not getting along, and we need an impartial third party to help them, guide them through a discussion. So recently, the New South Wales Department of Education investigation was reviewed by the regulator, and they found the employee was stood aside without clear allegations. The investigation lasted approximately 10 months, which is a long time for an employee to be stood aside waiting for an investigation to conclude with limited, without the clear allegations as well, limited communication, and they were transferred to lower level duties. And there was significant psychosocial harm, psychological harm reported. The key finding was the workplace investigations are a system of work under the law, and they do inherently create psychosocial risks. So employers must identify, assess and control these risks. So there was a problem reported from an employee. A new employee had said, these other employees are speaking in a derogatory manner about the manager, and the manager wanted an investigation, and HR knew that there was conflict and said, no, we're going to do a workplace culture review. So a whole lot of things came out of that. So it had been reported that there was a toxic culture for a long time. So what I found was there were 4 teachers who, two and two, didn't get along, and that created a lot of conflict for the wider group. So basically, I talked to all 18 people, and I came up with a list of findings. The findings were conflict. They were, role clarity, job demands, under-resourcing from in terms of staffing and support, leadership support, and various other things. So what I come back with to the organisation is these are the findings. And these are some recommendations that we can put in place. So, and I talked briefly about those recommendations before. So they could be training, they could be restructuring, they could be leadership coaching, mediation. Look, I think that workplace investigations and workplace culture reviews and mediation should always be done by an external party. Because when you're in the organisation, you'll have biases because you know those people, and there'll be a perception of bias from those people as well, even if you you're able to obviously be professional in your jobs and take those biases into account and look at the facts, there'll still be a perception of bias from the participants. And so that can impact on the credibility of the results and the outcomes and things like that, and they can be challenged. Whereas if an external neutral third party undertakes those, it's less likely to be criticised by the participants. And there was a case in Canada recently where they questioned that in the court systems in terms of the workplace investigations.